Howla! I'm back and it's day 7 without food. Haven't eaten anything in 7 days. And today we'll discuss a little bit about how your body heals itself during fasting, as well as review the Qigong lessons that we've learned so far. One new development today, although my body feels relatively the same since day 5, changes are happening more slowly, more gradually. It's just feeling more normal, not eating. But one thing differently that I decided to do today, going back to day 4 on the blog, you can read about getting salt. That's the one exception that I think on a water fast, that finding ways to get additional salt into your body is of a benefit. Yesterday I did have the Extend electrolyte replacement drink. It's basically a workout recovery drink, and that has some salt in it, but not quite enough. So today I had considered this as an option back on day 4 for if I felt like I needed it, felt like I wanted it. So today I had a cup of chicken bouillon dissolved in hot water. Now technically there's 11 calories in that cup of broth. So although I'm not considering that for the purposes of this fast as food, it was able to give me enough salt to take my level of enjoyment for life. My level of happiness has doubled. It's just given me the salt that I need, and I don't really feel like that there's anything wrong with having a little bit of broth to double your life happiness and double your experience. It's not enough calories to mess with the fast, and as long as you're disciplined and don't abuse it, only use it when you need it, I see no problem with having a little bit of broth to give you that much needed sodium. It's got a lot of salt in it. Now typically in a normal diet I don't add salt to anything. I don't try to get extra salt because there's enough in the food that I eat. But when I'm not eating any food and I'm not getting any salt, there's those uncomfortable symptoms that tend to emerge. Now mentally I can endure that, but this process isn't about feeling deprived or feeling like you're missing out on anything. It's about living life with high energy and being happy. Another reason for taking the extra sodium is I drink a lot of water. I drink more water than normal people. And when you drink more water, you're flushing out your certain minerals, including sodium. So I drink a little extra water than most people, and I tend to lose salt more quickly. So I actually have to consciously try to get some more salt. So that's the one exception to not just drinking water, but having a little bit of salt somehow. Now, some hardcore people will drink salt dissolved in water. I just don't want to do that. It's too unpleasant. And again, this is about enjoying life, not punishing yourself. So maybe some fasting purists out there, I don't know of any, but some might say that broth is too much. On that one, I would just tend to disagree and say it's okay. I mean, 11 calories is not a whole lot. Whatever, your body's going to burn that very quickly. So I want to tell you about a new subject today that I haven't talked about in the series yet, and that's autophagy. Now, what's autophagy? Well, in 2016, a leading researcher won the Nobel Prize for discovering how your body heals itself in the absence of food. So by fasting, your body actually rejuvenates and renews itself. And I've got a link to the blog on an interesting article that explains more about this. But basically what the science is telling us is that when you stop eating for a matter of days, your body burns through the energy that it has stored readily available as far as glycogen. That's like the sugar-based energy that's stored. It switches to burning fat. At the same time, with no new energy coming in, the body starts to take an inventory, and it starts to look at the cells that are damaged or not functioning properly, and the pieces of cells, the membranes and the parts of cells that aren't working correctly, and the body tends to dissolve them and basically eat them and break them into stuff it can use for the rest of the organism to be healthy. So the word autophagy comes from the Greek word auto, meaning self, and phagein, which means to eat. So this is literally to eat yourself. Now that kind of sounds weird, but it's really a good thing, because your body is taking the disease cells and the cells that just haven't, if a cell copies itself and it doesn't copy itself properly, or it becomes damaged, the reason why people take antioxidants and eat high antioxidant foods is that these things called free radicals that are out there damaging our cells. And when the cells become damaged, the free radicals, the antioxidants help to prevent these free radicals. But once the cell's damaged, if you go through a state of autophagy, then your body opens up new mechanisms to repair these damaged cells. It doesn't repair the cells, it just gets rid of the unnecessary cells. And you can also look at that as the unnecessary cells. So you start to lose weight, you start having extra skin cells, and the body can recognize that and get rid of these extra cells. Now, other research has been done showing that fasting can help cure cancer. I've posted a link to that on my blog as well for today. And I've seen other studies showing that fasting can help with diabetes and many other diseases. And I've just kept it simple by including the ones that I've found in the past that I found pretty interesting. So autophagy, it's this great process that really helps you. But fasting, you're healing yourself, and that is a wonderful, miraculous thing, which just gives more credibility to the idea that you're not using your energy to digest food, you're using your energy to heal your body. You're giving your body a break from all of the stuff that you put into it on a regular basis. And it's a good way to reset your system and filter out all these bad cells and the cells that don't work. Another fact that I found pretty interesting in my research on autophagy that I didn't know before, and I would assume most people don't know, is that your body every day produces cancer cells. Through errors in copying the cell, and when your DNA has a little bit of damage, it will produce a cell that can turn into cancer. Now this happens in everyone every day. A few of these cancer cells are produced. When your immune system's healthy and it's functioning properly, it targets these cells and eliminates them. And then when your immune system's weakened and not functioning properly, these cells can multiply. They don't get detected by the immune system, and then they can multiply and become cancer in certain cases when people are compromised in that way. Well, this autophagy also helps to strengthen that response in killing these cancer cells. So autophagy is a pretty interesting phenomenon, and this is recently discovered in 2016. So modern science is just now learning about the benefits of fasting that have been known for thousands of years in spiritual traditions and in ancient societies. So, a few years ago, the information might not have been known. It's currently becoming available. So over the past week, I forgot to mention my weight loss. So I'm at 15.7 pounds today. So almost 16 pounds in 7 days. And it feels really good to have fasted for an entire week. That's 1/3 of the 21 days completed. So over these past 7 days, I've given a mini Qigong lesson every day. So today I'd like to take the time to quickly review and remind you of what's been taught. And if you go to the blog post for this video, then you'll get a link to each of these lessons that you can review. If there's one that you missed, one that you skipped, or one you just want to refresh your mind on, all of that information is there. So on day one, we began with a technique of connecting with our dantian, where we lined up the palms of our hands with our dantian. So for a male, it's left hand first, right hand on top. For a female, you just reverse it, right hand first, left hand on top. And just by aligning the center of your palms with the dantian, that was an energy gathering technique. Then on day two, we covered the standing posture. Standing straight, as straight as you can, and then taking your stomach and lower back and pulling them in towards the spine, keeping the spine as straight as you can, and then tucking your chin in and lifting the crown of your head up to straighten your neck, and then rolling your shoulders back, leaving an orange-sized space in your armpits and letting your arms hang comfortably, slightly bent at your side. Fingers open, not stretched, not closed. That was the standing position. If we take that position and sit on the edge of a chair with our legs bent at a 90-degree angle, feet flat on the floor, we have our sitting position. I won't use the chair, but it looks something like this. And on the next day, day 4, trying to remember the sequence here, we discovered that we don't have to just use our hands to charge the dantian, we can use our fingers. So putting the middle fingers together like this, pointing that at the dantian, and sending a beam of light to the dantian was another dantian connecting energy gathering technique. The next day we learned a mental technique for connecting with the dantian, where we located the dantian in our mind, and in our mind we imagined our index and thumb finger, squeezing it gently, pulling it back 1 inch, as if when we released it, the dantian, a little bit of tension, like a spring or like a rubber band, pulling it back 1 inch to feel that little bit of pressure, at least in our mind, if not in our body, where if we were to release it, it would snap back to its place 1 inch forward, and just mentally holding it, squeezing it gently, holding it back, imagining that process in our mind for another way to connect with the dantian. And then finally, yesterday, we explored a dantian breathing technique, where we basically breathed in through our nose and at the same time into our dantian, imagining into the dantian, and then holding that for a moment at the dantian while the air was held in our lungs, just for 1 second, and then breathing out through our nose again and breathing out mentally from the dantian, as another way of connecting with and sending energy to the dantian. Just by thinking about the dantian sends energy to it, and we're establishing a strong connection between our mind and our dantian so that we can send even more energy to it in the next round of Qigong lessons. There's a lot more Qigong lessons coming, but take the time today, if you're following this day by day, to review each of those. Practice your favorite one in extra time, and take the time to review one that you may have skipped, or for some reason, just haven't done as much as the others. Take the time to do that as well. So your favorite and the one that you've done the least would be a nice challenge for today. I'll be back tomorrow with day 8 of Qigong for weight loss, 21-day fast without food, case study, Hao La.